Wednesday is Chai Elul. It's the birthday of the Baal Shem Tov and the Alter Rebbe.
Wednesday is Yud Chesel, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, Chayel, that's what
Chai Elul.
Who's his birthday?
The Baal Shem Tov and the Alter Rebbe.
Wow.
It's the birthday.
Remember the brains. They're so powerful. So lovely.
We have one next door.
Chayel.
Remember the Verbrengens? Chai Elul?
So lovely.
You also went to the Verbrengens of Chai Elul?
It was the happiest thing.
I went through a lot for 12 days.
Bothers me to try to remember.
So Tuesday night?
I don't have it now.
So it's Tuesday night?
I guess Tuesday night,
Wednesday.
You have it. It's in your neshama.
Wow.
You absolutely have it.
Wow, that's incredible.
Until the Baal Shem Tov, no one ever knew there was something so significant about a birthday. The Baal Shem Tov made something big out of his birthday, and the Rebbe made a very big deal out of a birthday.
Yeah.
Very, very big deal.
Everybody liked it because the Torah, Yom Ledet Paro.
Right.
Everybody likes it. Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, the Rebbe brought a proof. There's a Gemara in the Yerushalmi. The Gemara in the Yerushalmi says that when they had the battle against Amalek, so Moshe Rabbeinu picked up his hands, and whenever Moshe Yisrael, when he would pick up his hands, he was winning.
Right.
How were they winning? The Gemara says in Yerushalmi that the people in Amalek were clever, and they knew if a person has his birthday, then his mazel is strong on that day, and they would put the people whose that was their birthday, they would put them on the front line, and it wasn't easy to conquer them. So Moshe Rabbeinu picked up his hands and he moved around the mazolos.
So it's their birthday.
Yeah, Yerushalmi.
It's the birthday. But
Right, they made their birthday.
And they mixed up the...
Yeah, so Yerushalmi said. Yeah. Now, their birthday wasn't really their birthday. It was in the calendar, but it wasn't really their birthday. So they fell like flies. So that's how the Jews won. The Rebbe says we see from this Yerushalmi that a day of a birthday is a very powerful day.
We have to learn from the negative.
Right, and we use it in a powerful way, in a positive way. 3 stories about the Baal Shem Tov's birth. One is a Sikha, previous Rabbi. The Baal Shem Tov, the parents were elderly people. They had no children. So they had a lot of guests. Every Shabbos, had 20 guests at the table. One Shabbos, at the day meal, a beggar walks in. Beggar in a town, obviously Machal Shabbos, because he walked to Tchum Shabbos, so he traveled. So the people were saying that we got to do something about this. Rabbi Eliezer asked no questions. He said, "Excuse me, sir, you already made kiddush?" He said, "No." He gave him wine and challah and fish. The people were saying that this is not right. This is not right. This is not. They were complaining.
because the person was in Shom HaShabbos.
Yeah. So Rabbi Eliezer went into the other room and he cried. But he decided he's not going to say a word to them. And he came out and he smiled, served them well. Same thing for Shalosh Shabbos, on Motzei Shabbos, he gave him a bed. Sunday he made him breakfast.
Wow.
And then he walked him out of town. The way out, the man said, "You know, I'm not a beggar. I'm a Leonovi. And in heaven they sent me to test you.
Wow. Wow.
You really passed the test. So you're going to have a special neshama born to you." And that was the Baal Shem Tov's father. The second story is that the Baal Shem Tov told, by the way, the Baal Shem Tov told the story himself to the Maggid, and he said that's why it says, Tilam b'mei yizaken nares orchei. Hayu yizoiche nar for child orchei, through having orchei. B'mei yizaken nares orchei, yeah. Second story, there was a beggar in Tzfas. I mean, a simpleton in Tzfas. This is another story with the Jew in Tzfas?
It's possible.
What's meant to simpleton?
He was a wood chopper, and he couldn't learn much, he couldn't daven much, but he did it with his full heart. So one day there's a knock at the door. He opens the door. Who is it? Elio opens the door. Elio Anovi. So they sent me from heaven to learn Torah with you. You did something remarkable. Tell me what you did. What was the special mitzvah? He said, well, if you don't know yet, I won't tell you. Because I know that mitzvahs are done for God. For Hashem, He's bought it. The mitzvah I did was for Hashem and not to share with other people. And if you don't want to learn with me, Elio left. There was a tumult in heaven. They really enjoyed this guy. They said to Leo, no, you go back and learn Torah with him. He learned Torah with him. He became one of the greatest people in the generation, but no one knew of him. When he came to heaven, they said there was one problem. He was a great guy, but no one learned Torah from him. He should come back to this world and introduce a new way to serve Hashem. That was the neshama of the Baal Shem Tov. The third story was told by the Alter Rebbe, and he said he heard the story from the Baal Shem Tov. Baal Shem Tov's father passed away when he was a very young child. Before he passed away, he called his son. He said, listen. Yeah. He heard it from the Baal Shem Tov. He said, Bahokitz. And the Baal Shem Tov told him that his father said that Hashem is going up, and that Eliyahu told him to give the message that he should only fear the Ribbon Shalom. He should never fear anyone and anything. After his father passed away, a year later his mother passed away, so he took a stick and he was, he's going to wandering Jew. People said to him, this is dangerous, you're going to go out to the forest, go out at night. He said, I'm not scared of anyone and anything. So he got into the forest and he saw a big house and the lights coming out through the windows. He walked into the house. It was a place of chitzonim, non-kosher powers. And they said, little boy, don't you agree that Ozav Hashem Azaretz, God is not protecting you? The boy said, I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of anyone and anything. He took the stick, he gave a whap, and he said, Yispardu kol poya le'oven. And that moment, everything disappeared. And in the morning, he met up with one of the tzaddikim Nestorim, and eventually he met up with Achia Shiloini, who hooked him up with Mashiach. And he learned with Mashiach. They came to one of Hashem's names, and he didn't want to teach them Hashem Tov. Hashem Tov said, why?
Is it Shemayim?
No. Baritz. Doesn't mean that Mashiach was Baritz, but Hashem Tov was Baritz. Doesn't mean Achia Shiloni. I don't know exactly how the Achia Shiloni spoke, communicated with him. But we know that the idea, the minig that we have in Chabad, that comes from, passed down from Rebbe to Rebbe, going back to the Baal Shem Tov, is that the Baal Shem Tov said that Achia Shiloni told him that you should say every day in Elul 3 Kapitla Tilim, and on Yom Kippur 36. Sachakol, the whole Tehillim. That comes from Achia Shiloni.
Just 3 a day and then 36 by Yom Kippur.
Yeah.
Hayom Yom.
This brought on Yom Yom, but in the name of the Baal Shem Tov, from starting first Evel, the name of his Rabbi, the Achia Shiloni. So he said, why can't you teach me this name? He said, that name, the Samach Mem has that as a mashka. And he took it, and he's holding on to it, and since he destroyed the Beis HaMikdash, he holds on to it. So Hashem Tov davened until the Samach Mem himself came, and he was angry. He said, you tipas rucha, I only came to this world twice. Myself, I only came when I destroyed the first Beis HaMikdash and the second Mikdash. What do you want? Hashem Tov said, I want that name. He said, no, I'm not going to give it to you. With that name, we could rebuild the Beis HaMikdash. So the Baal Shem Tov had a fight with him, and the Baal Shem Tov got the name. That's what he said. So where's Mashiach?
What's the name?
Exactly, what's the name? It seems that we have to learn a little. We have to learn the Torah of the Baal Shem Tov. We have to learn the Torah of the Baal Shem Tov to get the Ros Soidecha, to get into that name. Tonight we'll learn the Mitzvah Shem, a shtickle Torah of Chassidus that has a remarkable thing about the Eibishter's name and have to do with the 12 months, how the Eibishter's name, because in today's Pasha, there is the Eibishter's name has 4 letters, and there is.
Is anything going on here Tuesday
Thursday night we're going to have a Fabrengen. My uncle Rabbi Lesh is the Rav of the Lubavitcher Kehila in Muncie will be here. Rabbi Lesh is a remarkable posek. He was a Talmud Muvik of Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, and even after he became a Lubavitcher Chassid for all the years, he kept a good connection with his Rebbe. He was a Rosh Yeshiva in Sydney, and now he's the Rav of the Lubavitcher Kehila in Muncie.
He's just going to be speaking of
Fabrengen. He's a Fabrengen. He's a terrific Fabrengen.
9 o'clock?
At 8:30. 8:30 till about 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock with Bob.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, you should come.
Was this the story related to the Or HaChaim will have the name and only one in the door can have that name? And then when the Western Light went out because the name
That's a separate story.
Okay.
It's a separate story.
separate name.
That's must be a separate. That was a soid. That wasn't a shame. Oh, so today, so like this. There is Yud Beis Tzirufim in the Eibishter's name, even though one might say, wait a minute, there's 4 letters. 4 letters, if you twist them around enough time, you get 24 words, not 12 words. But sometimes we say there's Chav Dalet Tzirufim because in the day we say there's 24 hours of Chav Dalet Tzirufim. But the truth is that because there's 2 times a hay, so if you only count the hay once, and you have now 3 letters, so 3 letters, if you mix them around enough times, you have 12 words.
Combinations.
Right, 12 combinations. And the combination of the month of Cheshvan is Dvash, Hayom, Hazeh, Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is this week's parsha. And let's open up the Chumash. Shkoyach for the chart. Let's open the Chumash and today's parsha, the beginning of today's parsha. It's parsha Kisavoy in the stone Chumash.
Well, usually we have to start off with a parsha.
Kisavoy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Kisavoy.
Right.
Just walking straight in.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful beginning of the parsha. The beginning of today's parsha is really the basis of the Haggadah. And it's remarkable, we use the words that we say and the Haggadah are identical to the words we say when we bring the Bikurim. This week's parsha starts off with the page 1068. Page 1068. It starts off with the mitzvah Bikurim. The first fruits of the 7 fruits of Eretz Yisrael. Person wraps around and fills up a basket. And in the time of Simcha, which is from Shavuos until Sukkot, that was the time. Any time from Shavuos to Sukkot, you could bring Bikurim. Thank you so much. And when they brought, besides the mitzvah of bringing the Bikurim, there was a special mitzvah of saying special psukim of praises to Hashem when you bring the Bikurim, which is, as I said, those psukim are really the basis of we use for also for the Haggadah. In the Haggadah, like we say every 3 words and we give an explanation for it. Then there is a second mitzvah that there was a cycle of Shemitah, right? So every year 3 and every year 6, you have to make sure that there's no Trumas and Maisis left in your house. Nothing. It was called Zman Biur HaMaisis, and it's called Vidoy HaMaisis. You have to, there's a special video confession to make and say, I've done all my obligations. So if you didn't do it in year 1, year 2, but by year 3, Erev Pesach, Machloikis, we pass them to the last days of Pesach.
Money was money.
No, Ma'aseh Ksofim is maybe the Rabbanan. We're talking about the grain. The grain that you have to give, mainly the 10% that you have to give to the Levi. But in that video, it was rolled in everything. Bikurim and Truma, but mainly it was for Ma'aseh. The Pasuk says, beginning of page 1070, when you finish with all your Ma'aseh in year 3, Shnas HaMa'aseh v'nasat la'levi la'ger la'yosam la'amon v'ochel v'shachel v'saveu v'amarta l'fnei Hashem al'kecha v'arti ha'kodesh min ha'bayis. You have to say to Hashem, I have taken all the kodesh out of my house. I have removed all the holy things from my house. And then you say, V'gam nasati la'levi, la'ger, la'yosam, la'amona, k'chol mitzvahs chashabetzani. I did all your commands. Lo yavartim tzachim v'la'shachochti, la'chaltim oinim imenu, so on and so forth. And then you ask God for a blessing. Shkifa v'moin kotchecha min hashamayim, v'vorech hazam chitz Yisrael, v'esa adoma, look down from heaven, bless your nation Israel, and the land that you gave to us, as you've promised our fathers, the land that is dripping of honey and milk and honey.
Each person had to say that.
Each person had to say that, yes.
Each person, right?
Yeah. Unless you didn't have a field, and you had no Ma'aseh, so there's no point saying it.
And the gear can't say it, right?
Right, it was a gear, it was a question, you probably can't say it. Then it starts, Hayoim Hazeh, Hashem. So the Alter Rebbe says in the first Maimon of this week's Pasha, that's Yud Kei Vav Kei. The Vav of Dvash, and then the Hey, and the Hey, and the Yud. Vav Hey Hey Yud. That is one of the ways of spelling Yud Kei Vav Kei. Hashem Elokeichem Etzavcha. Today, God commands Lasas HaChukim Ha'elu to do these commands, V'samishpotim, these statutes, the Shamarta Sisois, you should guard them and do them. B'chol Avavcha B'chol Nafshecha, with all your heart, with all your soul. Okay. And the Torah says other blessings here. It's Hashem Marta Yem Li'Yisrael Hashem L'Kecha, that Hashem, you have distinguished Hashem today as a God for you, and the Eibishter also does the same. It's Hashem Marta Yoim, and Hashem Hamircha Yoim as a reward. L'sitcha Elyon al Kol HaGoyim, and Liyoischa Am Kodesh L'Hashem Elokecha Kashavim. Let's look at Rashi. The Rashi of Pasuk 16. Tonight is the 16th of Elul. Pasuk 16. Hayoim Hazeh Hashem Elokecha Metzavcha B'chol Yom Yeh Benacha Kechadoshim. What does it say? Hayoim Hazeh? Today. Which day? Which is today? Every day it should be as if today God spoke these mitzvahs. Kilu Boy B'Yem Tzavi, as if today was the command. I don't know if we'll get a chance to talk about this Rashi. There's a lot to talk about, but let's go to the next Rashi. I wanted to focus on this. B'shamarta v'sisoisam, you should guard them and do them. Rashi says, Baskal mevarchosei, a heavenly voice would come down and give the blessing to the Jew that would bring Bikurim. When he would bring the basket to Yerushalayim, a voice would come out from heaven and say like this: Heveisa Bikurim Hayoim, you brought Bikurim today, Teshana L'Shana Haba, you should repeat next year. It was a blessing that came from heaven. Guaranteed. Such a small Rashi, so many questions in this Rashi. First and obvious question is, who told Rashi that this is a blessing coming from heaven? Maybe, why did they read the pasuk like the Sephorah, the Ibn Ezra? It's a command. God says, Hayoim Hazeh, today, Hashem Elokecha Metzavcha, God commands you, Lasas HaChukim V'Samishpotim V'Shamarta V'Sisamoisam. You should guard them and do them. Who told Rashi that there's a voice coming out from heaven? It's true, it's a sifrei, but it's a medrash. But doesn't Rashi is not a collection of madrashim. Rashi is saying the pshat and the pasuk. Now, the medrash is a collection. Sometimes a medrash is simple pshat. Sometimes a medrash is a medrash. Like the Tanya in the chapter 1 says, Kamosha Dorsha Razal. The Razal said a drosha. It's a Gemara. Why is it Dorsha? Because the Gemara there's drush, there's halacha. But Rashi is saying the pshat. Why can't he say it like the Ibn Ezra or like all the other? Well, who told Rashi that this is a voice coming out of heaven? And if it's a blessing and it's not a command, who says it has to be a voice coming out from heaven? Maybe it's Moshe Rabbeinu, maybe it's Ribono Shel Olam, Be'atzmai. All mitzvahs come with a reward. Don't worry, the video is good. You learn with us. The video will take care of itself. Every mitzvah comes with a reward, right? It's never individually. Here, this one mitzvah, it's like individual. A baskel comes to, like, where did Rashi take this? And also, in the Loshen, in the language of this brocha, is Hevesa Bikurim Hayoim, Tishana Lashana Aboy. Why does it say the word Tishana? Hevesa Hayoim, Tovi Lashana Aboy. Or it says Veshamarta Vasisa. Tasa Lashana Aboy. And the biggest question is, the Torah, the parsha starts with the mitzvah of Bikurim, then it tells us the mitzvah of Maisa. So then it says this pasuk. So maybe this blessing was given to the person that was bringing the Maisa, right? Every third and sixth year, they would bring the last Maisa, the Zman of Biur Maisa, and they would speciash Vidui. So who told Rashi that the blessing was for Bikurim? Rashi says that this blessing was for the person who brought Bikurim. Bikurim was once a year. Vidui Maisa was twice in 7 years. Every third year. So year 3, year 6, and again, year 3, year 6. By the way, that's why our minig is, if Shabbos, if Erev Pesach is on Shabbos, we say the mafter of V'orva Minchas Yehuda V'Shalom, because over there it says Ve'eviu es habayis Beis ha'oitzer, because some say, that's not the halacha, that the time of Vidui Maisa was Erev Pesach. We say it's not Erev Pesach, it's the last day of Pesach, or whatever. Rashi says that the blessing was once a year to the people that brought Bikurim. But who told Rashi it wasn't to the people that said the Vidui Maisa? But again, the Torah tells you the mitzvah Bikurim, then the mitzvah Vidui Maisa, and then right afterwards it says Hayoim Hazeh Hashem Lokechem Etzav Chalasos and the Shemarta Vasisa. So how does Rashi know that this blessing is going to the Yid that brings Bikurim? Maybe Alifnei Fon, talking about the beginning. Maybe he's talking about the Yid that's bringing the Meiser in year 3, and he says Vidui Meiser, and God's blessing him.
What day was this Hayom blessing? What day is it?
As Rashi says, it was every day. Hayom is every day. You have to imagine that Hashem is talking.
That's the Derush part. You know what I'm saying?
And Rashi says it in Pshat. Rashi says it's in Pshat because in Pshat there's an extra word. It doesn't have to say Hayoim Hazeh. What do you mean? What does it mean Hayoim Hazeh? It should say Hayoim, or it shouldn't even say Hayoim. What's Hayoim? Hayoim, which day? It doesn't say which day. So there's a double lashon here. Hayoim Hazeh. So Rashi says Hayoim Hazeh means B'chol Yoim, every day. It should be Kechadoshim. Ki'ilu Boi Bayom Nitztavis Alayim.
That's the Pshat.
That's all right. Well, let's focus on the other Rashi now, on the second Rashi. So what's the answer? Talk to the Lubavitcher Rebbe like this. This is typical dissecting of a Rashi by the Rebbe. And then we'll go into the Soidus HaTorah, which is behind it in the Rashi. So the thing is like this. The Torah tells the mitzvah Bikurim, then the mitzvah Vidui Maisa. Then the Torah says all kinds of beautiful things about the Yid. Es Hashem Heimart, the pasuk says, "Es Hashem Hemarto, VaHashem Hemircha." The Sitcha Elyon Al Kol HaGoyim, LeYoscha Am Kodesh. So there's a whole bunch of blessings here. Now, V'shamarta v'asisa sachukim ha'ela, if we're talking about the mitzvah of bikurim, it should, when the, how does this pasuk fly in here? Either it should be earlier with the mitzvah of bikurim, when we talk about the mitzvah. After the person already brought the bikurim, he brought the ma'aser, he said the vidoy of ma'aser, everything is finished. All of a sudden the Torah is saying a new mitzvah. What's the mitzvah? The mitzvah is finished already. You already told me the mitzvah. Therefore, Rashi learns that this really pasuk is connected with the next pasuk. Just like the next two psukim are all blessings, this pasuk is also a blessing. The Shamarta Vasisa was a bracha, was not a mitzvah, it was a bracha. That there was a heavenly voice that would give a bracha to the Yid. And why does it actually say Tishana Lashana Abba? Because it's Midah Keneged Midah. Just like the next pasuk uses that Lashon. Es Hashem He'emarta V'Hashem He'mircha. You Amarta He'mircha. It's Midah Keneged Midah. You brought Bikurim this year, the Eibishter says Tishana Lashana Abba. You brought this year, Midah Keneged Midah, the Eibishter says you'll repeat it next year. Why can't it be that the bracha, we ask, why can't it be that the bracha is for a person that's in year 3, he's doing the confession, he's bringing the ma'aser, the vidoy ma'aser? Because it doesn't make sense to Rashi that that would be the case. A person is supposed to bring the ma'aser every single year. A person who brings the ma'aser in year 3 is not doing the proper thing. He's doing something wrong. You're supposed to give every year, you're supposed to give the ma'aser. It's just that year 3, in the day of Erev Pesach, or the last day of Pesach, or Erev the last day of Pesach, by that day, if you wait one more day after that, that's already a sin. But to begin with, B'chol Avavcha, B'chol Nafshecha is not to wait 3 years till you give your ma'aser. You're supposed to give your ma'aser to the Kohen and to the Levi immediately. The Truma to the Kohen, the ma'aser to the Levi. You're not supposed to wait 3 years. So it doesn't make sense to Rashi to say that the person did something wrong, he waited 3 years to give his ma'aser, and now a voice comes down to heaven, my son, the Eibishter shall help him, next time you should do the same. Hashem amircha v'amarta, midah keneged midah. You didn't bring ma'aser for 3 years, and now you brought the ma'aser? The Eibishter should help, like the malachim that come the Shalom Aleichem, it's like the Gemara says in Shabbos, If it was good, they said the malach, good malach, it doesn't make sense. That's the bracha from the Eibishter. That, first of all, that's not b'chol avavcha, b'chol nafshecha. A person who waits 3 years is not doing it with his whole heart. Secondly, it doesn't make sense that this is a bracha. Therefore, Rashi says it makes sense. It makes sense to say that we're talking about the bikurim. The bikurim, there's 2 mitzvahs. First the bikurim and then the ma'aser. If you're talking about a bracha, it makes sense that the bracha is for the person, the Jew, who's bringing bikurim. In the mitzvah,
also, it could be back after second. We could have also have the second person
right.
saved us from all.
Right.
Love and wanted to contribute.
To show we're not a kfu toiv, that we're makir toiv. Right.
I guess what we're makir toiv, that was also that. What does it say? We'll have that opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. The Eibishter says, I'll give you midah keneged midah. I'll give you the opportunity to do it again and again. The shayla is over here. The first shayla is, how did Rashi know that this is a bracha and not a tzivah? Because it comes after the whole command. It doesn't make sense. Everything is over, a new mitzvah. And why do did Rashi think that the bracha is for the Yid that brought the bikurim and not ma'aser? Because the person who brought the ma'aser did something wrong. So to say that the Eibishter gives him a bracha, do the same thing the next year, doesn't make sense. Right. The question still a little remains, but the previous pasuk would talk about the mitzvah of ma'aser and not the mitzvah of bikurim. So the answer is that really the last word of the last pasuk does have a connection to the mitzvah of bikurim. And Rashi says several places, including the Ketzad Mevorchim, which is what we're learning in the Tuesday night shir, that the only grain, the only ma'aser, which is the eraisa, is ma'aser de goncha tiroshcha v'yitzorecha. Grain Those are Dogon, Tirosh, Yitzor, grain, wine, oil. The Maisa there is a Torah obligation. Fruits, according to Rashi, there's no Torah obligation to do Maisa. It's only a Rabbanon obligation, according to Rashi. So when the person does the Maisa, and according to Rashi, he says, God, please bless the land. Bless the land. The land of milk and honey. Which kind of milk are we talking about?
Date milk. Date.
Talking about the goat milk. Which kind of honey are we talking about?
Date
The date honey.
Yeah,
The date is one of the 7 fruits. The date was not part of the Meiser. The dates, according to Rashi, is not Meiser. The dates are really the fruits that you bring by Bikurim. So the last word of the previous pasuk, Dvash, the word Dvash, really, this one word Dvash is a connection to the mitzvah of Bikurim. Even though we're saying now the confession for Meiser, but part of the confession was that I did everything else also. I did the Bikurim, and I did the Truma, and I did the Meiser, and the last word, when we ask is Dvash, the word Dvash has a connection to Bikurim. So therefore, it makes sense that the next pasuk, when it says Hayom Hazeh, this day, Hashem Mitzavcha V'Shamarta V'Asisa, that Rashi says V'Shamarta V'Asisa was a heavenly voice that answered to the Yid, you brought Bikurim, you brought the Dvash, Teshana L'Shana Haba. So the word Dvash, now we understand why Al Pi Kabbalah, the Alter Rebbe says in the first Maimer in this week's Parsha, that Dvash Hayoim Hazeh Hashem is Yud-Kei Vov-Kei, and that's the tziruf of Yud-Kei Vov-Kei of the month of Cheshvan. But it's weird, like why would Al Pi Kabbalah, the word Dvash is from the previous pasuk, that's Shlishi, and then the next Aliyah starts Hayoim Hazeh, like why would you put together the word of Dvash, like only because it's cute, because there's, there has to be 12 tzirufim of Yud-Kei Vov-Kei.
Usually this combination comes in one pasuk.
Right, usually all the other ones, Yismuch Shemaim V'Sagol Haaretz, Haskes U'Shma Yisrael Hayoim, Tzedakah Tiyeh Lanu Ki, V'Yirah Yisrael Pareh, all the other psukim, all the other ones, it's in one pasuk. Here is Dvash Hayom Hazeh. But now, based on what we just learned in Rashi, we see that no, even though it's only one word from the previous pasuk, but there is a continuation. Because the next pasuk, Hayom Hazeh Hashem Etzavcha, that today the Eibishter gives a heavenly voice as a baskel, and the baskel gives you a blessing for the mitzvah of Bikurim. The previous psukim are talking about Meiser, but there is one word that has to do with Bikurim, Dvash. So Dvash and Hayom Hazeh Hashem Etzavcha are connected. So we see that this that Al Pi Kabbalah, it sounds like a little, but just that we have 12 months and we have to find 12 psukim for the 12 tzirufim. So the Kabbalah, they worked hard, and the other 11 they got straight. So one. No, chas v'sholom. There is, even Al Pi Pshat, you see that there is an incredible connection here. That the word Udvash and Hayom Hazeh Hashem Etzavcha are connected. Because before the word Dvash is all talking about Meiser. And according to Rashi, the heavenly voice did not give him a blessing for the Meiser, it gave him a blessing for the Bikurim. The Shana, L'Shana Haba was on Bikurim. And where in the previous pasuk do we see Bikurim? Dvash. The word Dvash. So that's the connection of Dvash, and the next pasuk, Hayom Hazeh Hashem Etzavcha. Why is it that there's a basket? Why is it that it has to be a basket? So the few pshatim that Rebbe says you could say. One pshat is, there's 2 parts of the mitzvah. In the mitzvah of Bikurim, there's 2 parts. There's the mitzvah of bringing the Bikurim, and then there is the psukim, V'nisa v'amarta lifnei Hashem Elokecha. Arami, Oived Avi, Aram Askor, you're supposed to raise your voice with a loud voice, and you're supposed to say these words. And these are very powerful words, so much so that the Mesader HaAgoda figured that the basis of the Agoda is going to be these psukim. So the mitzvah Bikurim had two parts, bringing the fruits and then thanking Hashem for all His miracles. Not only, in other words, I show my gratitude by bringing the first fruit, but also I verbalize it, I say it. I talk about it. Wow. Thank you, the Eibishter. Thank you. You took us out of Egypt, you gave us such a beautiful land. So, Mida Keneged Mida, not only that the Eibishter gave a bracha, but there was a baskel, an individual baskel, and I could hear the Eibishter talking back to me. I speak to the Eibishter, Mida Keneged Mida, he talks back to me. That's one pshat. Another pshat that ever says, you could say like this. There's a lot of pshatim that you say, there's a yid with a long white beard, hears it and says it's very nice. But a child sometimes has a little, picks up his hand and says, Rabbi, I have a question. Was there ever a yid that brought bikurim? Rabbi says, sure. And was there ever a yid that God answered him that Tevesa bikurim hayoim teshana l'shana haba? Rabbi says, sure. Rashi says that. So, did it really happen? The Rebbe says, sure, what are you asking already? So the kid says, I'm asking, so how come I don't see someone bringing Bikurim this year? If every year the Eibishter said to the Yidden that brought the Bikurim that Teshana L'Shona Haba, so whatever happened? Do you think Nebuchadnezzar killed every single Yid that brought Bikurim? Not one Yid that brought Bikurim stayed alive, so that's what happened? The kid says, I don't know what happened over here. If there was a guarantee from the Eibishter every year, L'Shona Haba, that you're going to bring, and you brought it this year, Bikurim, you're going to bring it next year. So how come we don't have Yidden still bringing Bikurim? So Rashi says that the truth is that this was a baskel. He's saying the Gemara ain't mashgichim the baskel. Baskel is something, if the Eibishter promises something, it's impossible it will change. It's impossible.
I was wondering, because like God, he was worried, was that what we were talking about? Hashem promised that we would go through, about
that he was worried and he was target protected.
But the Yalkut Shemoni says that Yeshar al-Chol, in accordance to my year, so he asked God for the longer concern, but he shouldn't give it.
So this is the answer that Rebbe says. That's maybe why Rashi says a baskel. Why a baskel? Because if the Eibishter would have said this, if the Eibishter would say, next year you're guaranteed to bring the Bikurim again, it's inconceivable that it wouldn't happen. Yidden would still bring Bikurim till today. Baskel is, there's a concept in the Gemara, Baskel. If the Eibishter himself promised that his words will not come back empty. It comes.
Not only doesn't that apply only to changing
True. But this is, in other words, true. So I love about the idea here is that if the Eibishter says something, there's no such thing. We say Eimashgichem and the Eibishter. You say Eimashgichem and Baskel. You don't say Eimashgichem. The Eibishter says doesn't say Eimashgichem. What do you mean Eimashgichem Baskel? The Eibishter says Anoich Hashem Elokecha. We listen, right? Lo Yelechi Elokim Achenim. We listen. Baskel, we don't listen. Baskel Eimashgichem. Why? It's not from the Eibishter itself. It's a Bezin Shalmaila.
Like that, not the Abraham.
Right. Okay. So at least according to this, there's a remes from Rashi to answer the child's question. The child says that the Eibishter gives a guarantee that Mida Keneged Mida, you brought the Bikurim. So what's going on? How come we don't say so? The answer is a baskel. So this guarantee comes not from the Eibishter himself. It's not Ani v'loy malach, v'loy sorav, v'loy shliach. It comes through a baskel. And therefore, Shema Yigram Achet, it's true. A person could have a chet, and then there could be the Churban Beis HaMikdash.
Could be that just means as long as the Beis HaMikdash is cut, you got it.
Only if there is a Beis HaMikdash.
Right.
But that doesn't seem so much in the words. The words were, the Eibishter said, you brought it this year to Shana L'Shana Haba. It's going to happen. So the Eibishter could make sure that the Beis HaMikdash should still stand, and And it should happen. There's a the Rashi says Hayoim Hazeh. So the Alter Rebbe says in the first Maimer that Hayoim Hazeh is talking about Rosh Hashanah. Hayoim Hazeh is talking about Rosh Hashanah. What's the connection between Rosh Hashanah and Bikurim? The first mitzvah is Bikurim. There's Bikurim and Truma. But the Rashi says here that the first thing, the order of things, the first thing must be Bikurim. The first thing must be Bikurim, and then comes Truma. Then comes Maises, then comes Lo Yavartem Mitzlachecha V'Lo Shechachtem, means I did it in the right order. First thing has to be Bikurim. So Tzemach Tzedek explains why. Because Truma is Torah Mem, the Torah that came in the 40 days. What's big? That's Truma. Truma is Torah Mem. What's Bikurim? The Jews are Bikurim. Ki Bikurim Bereishis Isi Aveseichem. The neshama of the Jew, Kodesh Yisrael Hashem Reishis Tvuasa. So the question is, the Medrash says, who is more important, the Torah or the Jew? So that Medrash says that the Yidden are more important, because it says Savas Bnei Yisrael, Davar Bnei Yisrael. So the Torah is there to help the Jew. So it must be that the Yidden are more important than Torah. That's the conclusion of the Medrash. Tzemach Tzedek says that's why Bikurim has to come before Truma. Bikurim is Bikurim Bereshis Sarisi Aveseichem. The Neshama is Bikurim. Torah is Truma. So first has to come, the Neshama is more important. First, what's in a higher level? Kodma la'olam. What's chshivus? What's a higher level in kedusha? The neshama. First is bikurim, then is truma. First is bikurim and then is truma. That's why Chag HaShavuos has two names, right? Bikurim we start bringing from Zman Simcha to Zman Simcha. Bikurim, the mitzvah bikurim was from Chag HaShavuos until Sukkot. So Chag HaShavuos has two names. It's Zman Matan Torah Seinu, as we say according to Anshe Knesset Gdoila, and the Shmoneh Esrei. And what else was the Torah call it? Chag HaBikurim. HaBikurim. So there's a connection. Matan Torah and Bikurim are connected. This is Torah. Torah is Mem Truma. The 40 days it took to get the Torah. Mem Truma is Torah. And Bikurim is the Yidden that get the Torah. But which comes first? So it's both. Shavuos is both. It's Matan Torah Seinu. But what does the Torah call it? Chag HaBikurim. Chag HaBikurim. First thing is Bikurim. On Rosh Hashanah, before Tkiyah Shofar, we want to evoke the schus of Yidden. Esav says, he's also a miyuchas. So the Eibush says, V'oyev es Yaakov es Esav Sanesi. That in the source of everything, Yid is the highest, even higher than Torah. It says to Esav, who do you think you are? I love, in the source of everything, Bikurim is first. The neshama of the Yid is the highest thing. So who do you think you are? He says to Esav. We want to evoke this schus. So therefore we say before Tkiyah Shofar, Yivchar lanu es nachal oseinu. Bechira. This Bechira, which is beyond Seichel, that deepest connection the Eibush has with Yidden, this is a chus that Yidden have, which is the deepest connection, the deepest connection that a Yid has with the Eibush, that is this Bikurim. So the Yid wants to awaken this part of the neshama, because that's the strongest chus that a Yid has. That's why before Tkiyah Shofar we say Yivchar lanu es nachal oseinu. We want to evoke that schus of Bechira that happens Matan Torah, where it was revealed the mile of Yidden, the Yidden are Bikurim that come before Truma. That's connected to this pasuk Hayoim Hazeh. Hayoim Hazeh is Rosh Hashanah. So, what's the schus that Yidden have on Rosh Hashanah? What does Rashi say? What's this pasuk talking about? Not Maises, not Truma. Talking about Bikurim. The big schus we have on Rosh Hashanah, the big schus we want to evoke on Rosh Hashanah is not the schus of Truma and Maiseres, which is Torah mitzvahs. We want to evoke something more important, something that's even higher. We want to evoke the schus of this love that the neshama has to the Eibishter and the Eibishter has to the neshama, which is the ma'ilov bikurim, that the Eibishter loves the Yidden are bikurim.
Does any Chazal said so much today.
Yeah, there's a Medish Tanchuma that says that really Tefillah is like Bikurim. Tefillah is like Bikurim.
Is that the connection? Is that the connection?
Yeah, that's what there's a Medish Tanchuma that even though usually we always Gemara says in Brachas, right, that the Tefillah is like the Korban Tomid, but the Medish Tanchuma says that the Tefillah that we have, that the Tefillah is so the Tzemach, the Rebbe says that really both are true, but the tefillah that we do on Rosh Hashanah is a special tefillah that comes from the Etzem Neshama, and that's connected to the mitzvah of Bikurim.
That's the highest level of Neshama.
Yeah. David should help that this year, that when it comes Hayom Hazeh, Yom Medina, Rosh Hashanah, we should hear that Baskol, and that this time it should be without any pshatim, that Lashona Haba, that we should all, Klal Yisrael should be bringing the Bikurim.
Amen.
God.
Can you?